Salutations, fellow Warcrafters. So, let me start this video with saying I finally got remonetized for YouTube, which means I'm going to start learning how to edit the videos more and hopefully make everything better on this YouTube channel. So, this video here is going to go along with the news that's currently going out, which is the Burning Crusade was basically announced. Well, not officially announced yet, but they're asking how we want them to roll it out, which is basically announcing it, just asking how we want it to, come out. So I figured I would talk about some of the things that are going to go up in price in Burning Crusade and ways you can prepare for the expansion right now. So, before I say anything else, let me first also say that there's a way that you could stock up and waste all your money right now. Like, if you're going to prepare for the Burning Crusade now, it's a gamble because we don't know how they're going to roll it out. However, you can also make a lot of money by starting to prepare right now because it is like subjective or not yet set in stone whether or not the expansion is going to come out. So what I mean is, if we all have to start over at level 1, basically every single thing I'm telling you in this video, and if I make another video about this topic, is completely useless and worthless information. Because we're not going to be able to carry all the items we have right now forward with us into the Burning Crusade. And the only way that this information is actually valuable is if Blizzard decides to let us go, or let us transfer the characters we have right now forward into the Burning Crusade or onto whatever the Burning Crusade servers are. Or if they take these current servers that we're on right now and just roll them into the Burning Crusade. So whichever of those two things happens, if either of those two scenarios happens, then everything I'm talking about in this video is good. You can use all this information and it's pertinent for, the X amount of period and time to come. So, let me get started with the tips now that I've gotten the small text and fine print out of the way. The first tip I'm going to give you is, and it's a very obvious one, all items are going to be inflated in price when the Burning Crusade comes out. More gold's going to be flooding the market, and since, level 70 mobs drop more gold, and that's just the way it's going to be. The second tip is, enchanting is going to become a lot more popular of a trade skill than it is right now. That means literally all enchanting mats are going to go up in price massively. And the reason for that is, or rather, not all enchanting mats, the enchanting mats that are required to level the trade skill will go up in price massively. So Vision Dust, like the Mystic Essences, Astral Essences, Illusion Dust, Greater Eternals, Dream Dust, all that fun stuff. And the reason for this is ring enchants. They are one of the best ring enchants are one of the best trade skill specific enchants that you can get in the Burning Crusade. And for people who want every single edge possible, min-max raiders, the people who do arenas, they're going to pick up enchanting. It's like the trade skill basically everybody wants that is a min-maxer. And going along with this same logic, the third tip I'm going to give you is ore is going to become a lot more valuable in the Burning Crusade. Tin ore, copper ore, mithril ore, thorium ore, because every little bit of this can be prospected. And you can get materials for jewel crafting by prospecting all of that ore. So if you stock up on a bunch, ore might not be the best thing to stock up on right now because it only stacks to 10. However, before the servers come out, it would be a pretty good thing to stock up on. Throw it all in your bank on however many alts you have or however many alts you're going to be taking forward with you. And also, stocking up on gems would also be a good idea too, because gems are really, really, really cheap right now. Like you can get, I'm pretty sure on high pop servers, it'll be even more askew. But you can get gems for almost vendor price. Moss Gates are a little bit above vendor price right now for people on my server, but Malachites are still just a smidge above vendor price. And shadow gems are probably the same. And then you got the level 60 gems are they're a little pricey, right? Well, actually no, they aren't. Huge emeralds only 7 silver, 10 silver above vendor price. So like right now is one of the best times you could buy these gems because they're going to go up in price since people are going to have to use these to level jewel crafting. Even though they're not used in high-end jewel crafting stuff, you need to use them to level jewel crafting. That'll cause them to go up in price quite a bit. So another thing to keep in mind is, like I said, everything that is used in jewel crafting. Aside from gems, you're going to be using bars to make like settings and, all of that stuff. So I think since jewel crafting, most of the materials used in jewel crafting come from mining in general. Every single mining item is going to go up in price more so than other trade skill items like herbs or cloth and stuff like that. So this tip right here, tip number 5, is a very subjective one. At some point in the Burning Crusade, the speed of which you level is like increased. They decrease how much EXP you need per level, and I cannot remember when this is. I can't remember if it's the last patch before Wrath of the Lich King, but I don't think it is. I think this is also if they give us the Burning Crusade up to the last patch before, the one that changes the game into Wrath of the Lich King, I'm fairly certain the leveling speed will be reduced. So, I mean, I really don't know how they're going to do this. It's going to be kind of weird if they like roll out reduced leveling speed immediately when the game launches, since that's not how it was. And we might end up actually leveling to level 70 faster at that rate, which will like make things weird. We might not even get to like Netherstorm or the Shadow whatever zone at the bottom of the map in Outlands. So, I don't know exactly how they're going to do this, but the point of this whole tip is when you spend less time in the lower level zones, you're not going to have as much time to gather the reagents for all trade skills in those zones. And those items are going to go up in price a lot. And I'm talking about a few specific items like chunk of boar meat, stringy wolf meat. These are small eggs. These are low level trade skill materials. And small eggs in particular because people are stockpiling them for Winter's Veil. So they'll probably sell them, for leveling cooking if they have the opportunity to, or if the price is good enough. You got boar ribs, which are also used in cooking. Wool cloth, silk cloth. Wool cloth in particular because people will breeze through those levels so fast and such a small amount of wool cloth already drops. That's one of the items that like really, really goes up in price in the Burning Crusade. And so does silk cloth. Right now it's still like 10 silver, 15 silver above vendor price. That's going to change in the Burning Crusade. Same with mage weave cloth. Goldthorn is another one. Raptor eggs, raptor meat, they're both used in cooking as well. I mean, it's going to be a weird set of items that go up in price. And I won't be able to ever list them all because there's going to be too many of them. But it's just something to keep in mind because, like I said earlier, the faster you level through a zone, or the faster the level speed is and the less time you spend in the zone, the less time you're going to have to, just gather everything there is in those zones. So, the final tip that I have for this video, which is one that might be obvious to a lot of us, it's all items used in level 60 raid mats will drop dramatically in price. And what I'm talking about are items like elemental earths here. They're used in, once, the Burning Crusade comes out and new reagents are added, these aren't going to be even remotely as valuable. A whole bunch of trade skill recipes, like all of the greater protection potion recipes, greater frost, greater fire, greater shadow, greater nature, these are all going to drop in price because new ones are going to be added in, and it's going to greatly devalue those. Flask and elixir recipes, they're going to drop in price too because, like I said, there's going to be new ones added in, and these ones are going to devalue. Wild steel bloom, black lotus, stone scale oil, and as well as stone scale fish. Again, they're all used in level 60 trade skill combined for raid mats and stuff like that, so they're going to go down. Wild steel bloom is kind of a unique one. It's still going to be used in leveling alchemy. In order to get like alchemy from 175 to like 220, you basically got to use wild steel bloom in some regard. And so that's going to, like, right now it's excessively high priced because it's used in Elixir of Fortitudes and it is a little annoying to farm. So that's going to it's going to go down a little bit, but not, as much as you may want it to or think it would. Black Lotus is another good example of items that, we're not going to be using the level 60 flasks anymore. That's basically the only use for that item. And like I said, most of the elixirs and flasks, as well as all level 60 trade skill enchanting recipes, stuff like Crusader, Lifestealing, Winter's Chill, just the whole array of stuff. Like, it's going to be completely random stuff, and it's a lot of, ifs and maybes about stuff going up and down in price. But if you spend enough time thinking about it, you can probably imagine more items that are going to suffer greatly because, upgrades are going to be added in the Burning Crusade. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys in this video. I'm probably going to make another video about the Burning Crusade in the near future if this one manages to get some good views and if there's enough interest in it, because I could probably go on with another like 10 to 15, maybe even 20 money-making tips for the Burning Crusade and ways that you can, stock up on items now specifically to sell in the Burning Crusade, or just, tips and warnings of make sure you sell these items now before going to Burning Crusade, because if you don't, you're going to lose out massively on money. Mooncloth is another good example of that. Same with arcane bars, arcane crystals, etc., etc. Anyway, I'll catch you guys around the next video.